Greetings, fellow humans, and welcome to some poetry with JD. I'm also going to be doing pairing tea with chocolate. This tea is actually from Stash. It's a tisane. Yep. It's orange ginger. No, sunny orange ginger. And I'm doing this pairing for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I wanted to talk about poetry. Secondly, I wanted to do a pairing. And thirdly, this chocolate and that tea is a gift from a wonderful friend from up in Canada. My sparkly unicorn friend, Nadia Fortuna. Dear, finally having the chocolate. I'm going to try it out. So this is going to be a combination of different things. I'm going to try out two things. If I can open it. I opened it. And I'm going to talk about a lot of things poetry. A while back, Jade the Boho Bookworm mentioned that she was trying to get into poetry but not having much success because she bought a collection by Emily Dickinson. She was finding it hard. And that if I had any tips on how to get into poetry, since I enjoy writing poetry and reading poetry. So, I decided to do this little video. So firstly, this is actually Himalayan sea salt chocolate. And at 70% cacao, it's actually very nice. And it's got a lot of salt, but it's not a bad thing. Now let's just try some tea. Also lovely. So Nadia, 2 for 2. I wanted to try this out to do different things and show you some of what I do on Instagram. I taste a bunch of random stuff and I upload, and people get a crack at my face. I got a funny face. So, poetry. How do you get into poetry? A lot of people don't get poetry, and I get that. We each have our likes and dislikes. The thing is that some people say, "Oh, I hate poetry," and you go, "But why is that?" And they go like, "Well, because I read so and so and I didn't like it." And I go like, "That's like someone saying that they don't like reading." That's nice. That's not really a valid answer, in the sense that if you read enough, you're gonna find something that you like. My opinion. Some people say, "Oh, I don't want to read." Okay. This is a really good pairing. Poetry is not just the birds and the bees and love and roses are red and stuff like that. There's a variety of things. So I have a variety of books. 3 of mine, 2 of different things, and I'm going to talk about them a bit. So, can you see all the notes? All the notes. Where will we start? Recommendation. I've noticed that there's a tendency that people who like dark fiction or YA stuff or dystopian, that they go like, "Oh, I don't like poetry." Okay. This is my dark poetry collection called Dark Strands. Stories beneath the surface. The idea is people who say that they don't like poetry and like the other stuff normally say, "Oh, but I love The Raven." So you kind of like poetry. And if you like music, you like poetry. You just like it musicalized. There's a world of poetry out there, and you gotta give yourself a shot. This collection, I wanted to do something dark but elegant. I didn't want to go full dark. I wanted to do something dark and classy, let's put it this way. There's a poem from the perspective of a vampire. This is super rude and I don't care. This is delicious. There's a short story at the end. I've mentioned it before, Miranda and the Broken Ghost. The thing is that it's hard to read because 72 lines, 9 lines to a stanza, rhyme scheme, abacadabra. It's just a bit overwhelming to read. Which I get, but apparently people enjoy it and say, "Oh, that was kind of weird but cool." Exactly. If you give yourself the shot to read stuff, you can find stuff. So here are my two examples of something dark but classy. Um, Caught Inside. Caught Inside is about surfing. When you're surfing, the worst thing that can happen to you, in my opinion, is that you're swimming towards the lineup and a set comes and it's going to land on you. You have all the time in the world to freak out, burn oxygen because you're freaking out. And sincerely, put yourself in the worst mindset possible. And sometimes life experiences are that way. The more you think about it and the more time you have to let it percolate, the worse it is in the end. So, Caught Inside. A cold line breaks the horizon. Throat locks, muscles seize. The brain crashes into awareness. You are about to be reminded of that little thing called mortality. A liquid explosion drives fist first. The back of my neck frowns at the meeting. Size comes to your attention. You are nothing and no one, especially when faced with but an instant of nature. Coral rakes flesh, currents gang up. Silence is as alien a concept as anything ever imagined. If you listen closely, those are the waves laughing as air escapes with you caught inside. And the second poem I'm going to read from this collection, you can see my pretty mug there, my pretty mug here. Hey, all mugs. I'm a muggle. Second selection is called The Box. It was a reflection of when my dad passed. Just the whole burial and that entire experience. The Box. Flowers smile on either side. Picture framed, guest book signed. Why so many strangers among the dearly beloved? Rarely questioned, never shunned. The box there lay, with its flower crown near basalt gray. Joined in hands in holy prayer before the box is buried gently beneath the layer. There lies only a box, nothing more, though someone less. So it's not all the birds and the bees. You might want to try some dark poetry. Might I recommend mine? No. There's different people who write dark poetry. All I'm using that as an example is so that you see that there's different things. Here is a collection called Best Love Poems, another wonderful gift from a wonderful friend. Thank you to Kate Evans for this wonderful collection. If you want to try to get into poetry, this or collections like this are a great option because you see a variety of poetry, of styles, of authors, etc., and you see what you like and what you don't like. So rather than diving into Emily Dickinson because everyone loves her and you have to love her as well, you get a sample and a taste and you go like, oh, I like that. I should look for something more from that author or that poet. And they can be really random. And they can inspire different things. And I like reading poetry because it inspires different things. If you're a Batman fan, you're going to know this one. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, christened on a Tuesday, married on Wednesday, took ill on Thursday, worse on Friday, died on Saturday, buried on Sunday. This is the end of Solomon Grundy. If you read Batman, that's the inspiration for one of the characters, Solomon Grundy. To continue the randomness, and you can see the difference. Here is a poem by T.S. Eliot called McCavity the Mystery Cat. The other one was anonymous, by the way. McCavity is a mystery cat. He's called the Hidden Paw, for he's the master criminal who can defy the law. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair, for when they reach the scene of crime, McCavity's not there. McCavity, McCavity, there's no one like McCavity. He's broken every human law, he breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a fakir stare, and when you reach the scene of crime, McCavity's not there. You may seek him in the basement, you may look up in the air, but I do tell you once and once again, McCavity's not there. McCavity's a ginger cat, he's very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought, his head is highly domed, his coat is dusty from neglect, his whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake, and when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. McCavity, there's no one like McCavity, for he's a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by-street, you may see him in the square, but when a crime's discovered, then McCavity's not there. He's outwardly respectable. They say he cheats his cards, and his footprints are not found in any file of Scotland's Yard. And when the larder's looted, or the jewel case is rifled, or when the milk is missing, or another peak's been stifled, or the greenhouse glass is broken, and the trellis past repair, aye, there's the wonder of the thing, McCavity's not there. And when the Foreign Office find a treaty's gone astray, or the Admiralty lose some plans and drawings by the way, there may be a scrap of paper in the hall or on the stair, but it's useless to investigate, McCavity's not there. And when the loss has been disclosed, the Secret Service say it must have been McCavity, but he's a mile away. You'll be sure to find him resting or licking of his thumbs, or engaged in doing complicated long division sums. McCavity, there's no one like McCavity. There never was a cat of such deceitfulness and suavity. He always has an alibi and one or two to spare. At whatever time the deed took place, McCavity wasn't there. And they say that all the cats whose wicked deeds are widely known, I might mention Mungo Jerry, I might mention Griddlebone, are nothing more than agents for the cat who all the time just controls their operations, the Napoleon of crime. Random, but fun. Pretty sure I could practice that a bit more. And the final selection from this one, which is a hearty selection, and actually this is worth the buy. William Blake is a wonderful yet very high-level poet, and he wrote Eternity. He who binds to himself a joy does the winged life destroy, but he who kisses the joy as it flies lives in eternity's sunrise. I will be reading a lot more William Blake. He has a work called Vala and the Four Zoas that I'm very fond of, and it will be rereading. But as you can see, there's a lot of variety. Next, I'm going to read something else from Moi. Between the Tides, Ebbs of Poetry from a Stream of Thought. And here are two more selections to show you randomness. Slow Dance with a Ghost. A sudden chill lovingly slithers over me. The shroud of memory reminds. My hand embraces nothing's alchemy. In fear I relish a broken line. Slowly spinning, breath is lost in time, forget the cost. A cold fire kiss steals my breath, latent bliss, potential death. A ghost she is that deathly dances, arms around, eyes in trances. Grant me life and love and death, dancing slow as did Macbeth. And the final selection from here, Melatonin. Maudlin melatonin, bitter sequence smiles. The mind is often roaming, resolutions dipped in guile. Joyful is the apnea, sharpened by and be thy grin. A dash or two of salvia, a cup's filled to the brim. Sorrow, serotonin, a dance was never had. Maudlin melatonin, I'm happy when I'm sad. Cheshire knife it slices, I will, I did, I'll try. Melatonin rises, I'm smiling when I cry. As you can see, again, variety. Variety. Let me get a little bit more chocolate to fuel the fire, the poetic fire. This is sensational. I'm gonna ruin my dinner. I hope not. I think you know this person. Maya Angelou was a superb poetess. And if you want an idea of life as a black woman, I think this is a good start to at least attempt empathy. This collection is sensational, and it's unfiltered. And I think the best poetry is unfiltered, and they show us reality and different things of life in a way that can resonate and can actually help us see different things. I chose these at random. I think. No, there's three. I might have chosen one on purpose. Yeah, the last one I chose on purpose and was actually read by Peter Clark, the writer, I'm pretty sure. But the first one is Harlem Hopscotch. 1 foot down, then hop, it's hot. Good things for the ones that got. Another jump now to the left, everybody for himself. In the air now, both feet down, since you black don't stick around. Food is gone, the rent is due. Curse and cry and then jump too. All the people out of work. Hold for three, then twist and jerk. Cross the line, they count you out, that's what hopping's all about. Both feet flat, the game is done. They think I lost, I think I won. Another poem called Woman Work. I've got the children to tend, the clothes to mend, the floor to mop, the food to shop, then the chicken to fry, then baby to dry. I got company to feed, the garden to weed. I've got the shirts to press, the tots to dress, the cane to be cut. I gotta clean up this hut, then see about the sick and the cotton to pick. Shine on me, sunshine, rain on me, rain. Fall softly, dewdrops, and cool my brow again. Storm, blow me from here with your fiercest wind. Let me float across the sky till I can rest again. Fall gently, snowflakes, cover me with white. Cold, icy kisses, and let me rest tonight. Sun, rain, curving sky, mountain, oceans, leaf and stone. Starshine, moon glow. You're all that I can call my own. And finally, I think this is her most famous poem, and it is something that you're feeling down. First off, choose to want to rise, because this poem is called Still I Rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? 'Cause I laugh like I've got gold mines dinging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I